Ocean Story came about from a madcap journey. Myself, my partner, and a few other adventurers went across the Caribbean Sea, through the Panama Canal, and across the Pacific with a plan to take this beautiful old whitbread racing boat and restore her at the end of the journey. The journey itself really shook us up. We'd painted the picture of these beautiful places that we would see and how exotic it was all going to be. And sometimes it was, and other times it really wasn't. There was devastation to the ocean, horrendous pollution, very few fish, and there was a lot of devastation to the indigenous and island cultures as well. So it was a real journey of ups and downs, where there was awe-inspiring, breathtaking beauty, and then the very, very sad downside of modern culture invading that space and ruining that territory. So by the end of the journey, we changed our minds about just restoring this boat as a classic, and we decided that we wanted to do something positive with her. And inspiration is what we thought would be the best route forward. So we had the boat, and we knew we wanted to do something to inspire change and create awareness. The journey really, really woke us up to the fact that we didn't have a clue just how bad things had become in terms of ocean conservation. And when we started to talk to other people about it, we realized that, generally speaking, most people had no idea. And that may be that there was not a great deal of publicity about it, and it was also maybe because the oceans aren't in front of everybody's eyes all the time, so it's not obvious, it's not there in your face to see all of the time. We explored as much as we could to get research and find out just how bad the crisis was. And it's depressing, and it can be scary too. So we needed to come up with a way of getting people the information without making them feel depressed and scared and shut down. And it's a challenge because at the moment, you know, we have a lot of problems in the world. There's this global financial crisis, and people have already heard, you know, so much about other environmental issues. There's an overload, and then you add into it famine and war, and go and talk to someone about ocean conservation and you can almost feel sort of overwhelm of, I can't take any more. It's not that I don't care, I just can't take any more and I don't know what to do anyway, or a feeling that I'm too small to make a difference. So our challenge that we set ourselves was, how can we get this message through in a way that opens the doors and allows people to listen without that heaviness coming through. So what we've decided to do with this beautiful old boat that we have, she's a sailing vessel and she has a story of her own. She's been in the round the world whitbread race a couple of times and 3 circumnavigations of the oceans, and she's a fighter. She has a character, so we thought, well, she's definitely up for doing something new and adventurous. So this time she's going to be a campaign boat for ocean conservation. But we're going to do it through joy and inspiration and celebration. We're going to make her a seagoing global community art project, and we will be covering her entire hull and all of her sails with art, images, messages and poems, and wishes from people from all around the world. To create a mosaic. And behind the contributions that people will be making is the message, you are a wave maker, and what kind of wave are you making? These are the things that we think are really, really important, especially with this sense that people think, I'm too small to make a difference. Every single person on this planet is a wave maker. And once they have the realization that that's true, they realize that every single thing they do is actually making a difference, and that's empowering and inspiring. At the moment, the boat is in New Zealand, and we are in the process of getting her ready to be transformed into the Ocean Story boat. When that's done, she's going to be crewed with an unusual and beautiful mix of people. There will be environmentalists, and there will also be artists, because we want to keep on using art and beauty and celebration to connect people back and introduce the knowledge that they need to be able to make more informed and wise choices so that they can choose to become beautiful wave makers. And the boat will start a journey around the world, and as it goes, it will record the stories of the local communities. It will record the beautiful stories of their history with the ocean, and it will record what's happening now with them in the oceans. And wherever possible, we'll be sharing those stories directly with people at the time that they're happening, and invite the public all around the world to get involved with any call to action that can happen there and then to make a difference. We've already had a good response to the message of beautiful wave making. We've worked with school children and young people in a very, very simple way. We go to local fairs and we put up a huge mosaic, a wall, and on one half of the mosaic we have a wave, and that wave is made up of images of the beauties of the ocean. Happy sea mammals, leaping dolphins, beautiful corals, wonderful places to surf and dive. And on the other side of the wall we have a wave that shows the other choice of toxic wave making, the pollution, the devastation, and the cruelty that goes on when we don't take responsibility and stay aware. We ask the kids to take a look at the two waves and decide which kind of wave maker they want to be. The decision is instant. They all want to be beautiful wave makers, and they're waiting for us to show them how. They're hungry for the information, and they're all ready to grow up in the world and be beautiful wave makers for the rest of their lives. They find it empowering. They want the knowledge. So all we have to do is find a beautiful way to share it. So our message to you is that the oceans unite us. We have one atmosphere created by them, and it's us that's creating the content and the condition of the oceans. So we're saying to you, you are a wave maker, and will you join us in the decision to be a beautiful wave maker? We're looking for your support now in two ways. You can help us financially with a donation that will help us do the restoration work on the boat and the preparation to put the mosaic in place and pay for the journey. And you can also help us by contributing to the art and sending your stories and your beautiful images and inspirations to encourage others to also make the decision to be beautiful wave makers too.